Hello and welcome to another Python tutorial for beginners. In this tutorial we are going to make a beautiful anagrams dictionary. Anagrams finder. So let's see how it works first. So let me just run a program. And what is the word? Let's just put a random word like cat and then press enter. And anagrams for cat are act and tack. Cool. Right, so let's run it again. Let's go for rain, and then anagrams for rain are Iran and Irani. So this is what we are going to make. It's so cool. We are going to learn a lot. Okay, so I have a dictionary underscore compact JSON, and let me show you where I just got it. So on GitHub, Matthew Reagan, Webster's English dictionary, and then here you have this dictionary compact JSON, which is basically, well, it's a JSON format, and this is what it is actually. So it's got key value pairs. The key is the word, and then the value is a definition, which is quite long, and there are some examples as well. So again, the key is a word or a dictionary entry, and then the value is a definition. And this is also a Python dictionary or JavaScript object. So basically what we are going to do is to ask for users input, and whatever they input, we are going to loop through all the keys, not the values, because this is, yeah. So we're going to go through all the keys and check if the key and the word which is given by the user match. In terms of, first of all, the same letters, they should have the same letters, and they also should have the same number of letters. For instance, cat and cats are not anagrams, or cat and tax are not. So cat and tack are because, first of all, both have 3 letters, and all the letters are the same. They have just different arrangements. So this is what we are going to do. Now let's go back to PyCharm. And here, so this is what I downloaded. Now the first thing we need to do is to load JSON. So let me just import JSON. And actually I have another tutorial on English dictionary. So I built an English dictionary where you could just enter a word. It will give you a definitions, and if you had some misspelling in it, it would suggest you several other words which are close to that input. You can just check it in my channel. Now, import JSON. Now, the next thing we need to do is to also say from collections, and I'm going to explain this one. This is very important. Import counter. So what counter does is it checks the frequency of, for example, we have a string, like a word. It checks the frequency of the letters. Let me show you an example here. So let's say we have a word. Let's just call it word. And this word is counter is something like Lala Land. Let's just put it as one word. Now this La La Land, let's see what counter does to La La Land. So if I print word out, so I say print and then word, let's see what happens. I run the program, and here we have L 3 times, A 3 times, N once, and D once. So this is what it does. This is what counter does. Goes through the list, checks for the frequency of the letters, and they put it puts it in another dictionary. Now what if I just let's just go for another one like cat, and let's have another word. Let's word 2 equals counter and tack. Now let's just print word and word 2. So now we have 2 words which are anagrams, right? So cat and tack, they have the same letters and the same number of letters. So let's print this out. and run it. So you see C once, A once, T once, and the same here. Now what if I compare these two dictionaries? Do you think I get the correct results if I go and compare it like if word is equal to words, no, word 2, right? So if word is equal to word 2, print yes, else print n. So if they're equal, it's going to print, and then we have a y. So y, yeah, so it's correct. They are similar. So they're equal. In what sense? Because it's checking the frequency, and it's dictionary. It's not like an array or a list. So on a list is based on indices, right? So index 0 is, for example, C, index 1 is A, index 2 is T. And if it is based on indices, then these two will be different. But if it's based on, it's a dictionary, so it's based on key value pairs. So C1 as well here, the same. So this is the way we are going to check for anagrams. Now, let's get back to our code. And we need to now load this one. So let's just call it data. So we have some data. And we are going to load that file. So JSON.load. And the file is this one. So we say open, and the name of the file, which is dictionary. So let's just write it. Yeah. So the thing is, we are loading that JSON file and we open it into data. So now data contains this dictionary. So whatever you saw here, this one is all now data. Okay. Now let's also ask for the user's input. So the users should ask us something, right? Let's just say call it just user, and user says okay, what is the word? So what is the word? And it gives us back a string that is stored in user. What else do we need? We also need an empty list for now. So let's just call it new. And this list is going to store the anagrams. And for example, if the word is cat, then we will do some operations and we will add tag to this list, or if it's another one, also to this list, and then we'll display this list to the user here. Okay. Okay, now let's loop through the data that you just saw here. So we are going to loop through data, but not through the definitions, only through the keys. So let's just say this is I, for example. So for I in data, we are going to check if the I is the same as has the same number of words as the word that the user inputs. So let's do that here. So for I in data, we are going to see if counter. So counter which of the user, right? Because we want to check the user's input. So if counter of the user's word is equal to counter of who? Of the I in dictionary, that is a key in the dictionary. So if they are correct, we want to now now we want to add it to the list, right? So we say new dot append I. So this way we are appending that word to our list here. Okay, what if it is not the same? So else print print no, actually we don't need to print anything now, I guess. Yeah, because if you just print something, then it will keep printing it. So if it is not the same, I want you to just to continue, not to print out anything. So this is, yeah, so basically what it does is it will go through every key, every word, entry word, dictionary entry in our dictionary. If it finds a match which has the same frequency of the letters, it will append it to this list. And if that word does not match, it should continue, because if we print something, then every time it gets to a word which is not the same, it will print something for us. We don't want that. We just want it to continue and go to another word and another word. So okay, this is it. Now let's get out of the loop now, and let's just print new to see what we get. Yeah, so let's just run the program. So what is the word? Let's say cat. Aha, and we have cat, act, tack. Cool. But we also have cat in it, which was the word that we said, so we don't want that. We just want some new words, not the same word. So what we can do is here, if the frequency is the same, and I is not the same as user. What? Yeah, and I is not the same as user. That is the key, which is this or this or this, is not the same as user. Whatever user input was cat. Then do this. So let's just print this out again, and let's see how it goes. Cat. Nice. Now we have act and we have tag. Cool. Okay. Okay, so what if there is no anagram? So maybe there is something. Let me check to make sure actually. So let's say month. Is there an anagram for month? Nope. So you see, we get an empty list. We don't want that. We want this to be, yeah, like a sentence like no anagrams found. Okay, so here we need to have an if statement. So if the length of the new is, yeah, bigger than 0, right? So if length of new is bigger than 0, it means there is some word in it, then print, let's just have an f string, print anagrams for user. Well, for user, that means the word that the user gives us. And then here we need to have the what was the name of it again? New, right? Yeah. So anagrams for user, this. Else, that is if the length is not bigger than 0, so it means it's 0, then we should print something like sorry, no anagrams for this word. Okay, let's run the program again. So what is the word? Let's say what is the word? Carpet, for example. Oh, seriously? Yeah, anagrams for carpet, preact and peract. Peract. Okay, cool. Now let's go for another word which we think might not exist. So coffee, I don't think there is an anagram for this. Yeah, sorry, no anagrams for this word. That was cool, wasn't it? I love this anagram, listen. So they say, a good friend listens to you when you are silent. So anagrams for listen, silent, tinsel, and enlist. Okay, that was a cool program, wasn't it? So I really enjoyed doing it, and I hope you did too. Let's just have a review again very fast. So we downloaded this dictionary JSON file from GitHub. Then we also needed to use counter to count the frequency of the letters in a word from collections. Then we loaded that in the dictionary and opened it into a data variable. We got the user's input, and we had a empty list so that we add our anagrams to the list. Then we looped through the keys in the dictionary. So we say for I in data, if counter user, that is the frequency of the letters in what the user gives us, is the same as the frequency of the letters that there exists in that word in dictionary. And also if the user's input is different from that word, because we didn't want to show it, then append that word to this list. If not, continue. We don't want to print anything. Now, to check if we do have something here, so if the length of our list is bigger than 0, print this one. Anagrams for the user's input are this. And else print, sorry, no anagrams for this word. Another thing you can do is just say that if the length of the new is 1, instead of anagrams, you can say anagram. You know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for listening and watching.